Fala aí pessoal do YouTube, voltando aqui com mais um vídeo de Vampyr. Bom pessoal, parece que no último vídeo nós acabamos transformando o Dawson em vampiro e encontramos o Redgrave aqui na entrada. E ele falou de uma pessoa, uma criatura que está no lado de fora da mansão me esperando. E não sabemos quem é. Eu comentei que eu acho que talvez seja a velha Bridget, que é aquela criatura lá que eu esqueci o nome, ou talvez aquela senhora que saiu com o Shaw, compadre do hospital, mas vamos lá, ai meu Deus. Lembrando que eu tô no nível 5 agora de poder de psíquico, então eu posso acabar matando mais pessoas pra conseguir mais experiência. Então eu vou matar a filha da Ashbury, porque ela é chata pra caramba, então vale a pena fazer esse tipo de morte, sim. Mortes everywhere, pra poder upar legal. Apesar de eu estar com 5k de experiência, não é? Dá pra upar também mais uma vez, mas quanto mais experiência, melhor. Principalmente pessoas chatas que gritam de madrugada, essas pessoas devem ser eliminadas imediatamente. Opa, agora vai. Agora, hein? Senhores e senhores. Ai, meu Deus. Meu Deus, que coisa medonha, velho. A pessoa parada ali, velha Bridget. Olá, quanto tempo. Oi.
We meet again at the strangest of times, young Ekon. So do you serve the Earl of Bristol now?
Old Bridget. What are you doing here?
Your friend, the wise Ekon. She sent me to warn you.
Did anyone see you? It's a long way from the dock sewers, and hunters are patrolling the streets here.
Who said I took the streets? How do you think I survived for centuries in this city without ever being seen? I know all her secrets.
Ok. Bom saber que você é bem informada.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
She came to us in the sewers in search of answers. Just as you did.
Ah, tá, entendi. Isso fez parte do processo de investigação dela, que ela falou que ia conhecer os arredores, né? Então acabou encontrando ela.
What kind of answers did you give her?
I knew nothing of your maker, but we talked. We talked a lot. Her words and ideas are captivating. It is no surprise that you like her. I like her too.
Legal.
Lady Ashbury in the sewers? Now that's a sight I wish I'd seen.
She said she was your friend, and that she sought the identity of your maker. So I answered her questions.
Tudo bem.
Lady Ashbury? You know her? Tell me what's going on.
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewer skulls. Once she questioned Harriet Jones. She agreed to help us.
Harriet Jones is still with you then? How is she doing?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her body is healing.
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
Pera aí, eles vão atacar o hospital?
Wait, slow down. I need to ask you something.
I'm listening, but I do not have time to waste, so be quick.
Where is Lady Ashbury right now?
She said she will go home. She needed to speak with some old friends first, though. Do not worry, young Ekon. She is no fool, and just as strong as you.
How did Elizabeth find you?
She presented herself humbly at our gate, and asked if we knew of any ancestral vampires hiding in London. She asked about Ascalon. She asked about many things.
What do you think of her?
Her soul is good, yet tainted with a deep sadness, and the scars of ancient wounds. Time does that to us immortals, for we have so much to dwell upon.
Why did she come to you?
I am old Bridget, the buried memory of the city. She sought the silent truths, truths I have kept hidden for so long.
Então você falou tudo pra ela.
Why do I feel like Lord Redgrave was particularly irritated to see you? Far more so than the average Skull, if I may say.
Because I used to know him quite well. and he is afraid I may remember who he really is.
You're Elizabeth's informant.
Ah!
You're the one who told her about Lord Redgrave's lies regarding his lineage.
Yes, but my words were not meant to hurt or threaten. I simply told the story of the sewer skulls, and of so many other forgotten children.
Ela é a ponte. Ah, que legal.
No time to lose, then. I must go there right away.
I shall return to my den. Have you a message for the lady? Should I see her before you?
Diga que a amo, diga a ela que precisamos conversar, diga que estou preocupado. Ah, não, pera lá, agora sim. Depois eu vou matar a filha dela. Ah, que trama de novela mexicana.
Yes. Tell her I love her.
Is this still unknown to her? Go now and take care, young Ekon, for the flames are rising.
Meu Deus do céu, tá ficando muito bom isso aqui. Vamos lá, vamos lá. Ai, meu Deus, eu tô desesperado. Vamos pro hospital? Hospital, meu Deus do céu. Ah, não. Ah, não. Ah, não. Pera aí, eu tenho que curar todo mundo. Meu Deus, o que eu faço? Eu curo todo mundo ou vou direto pro hospital? Não temos tempo pra curar mais ninguém, senhoras e senhores. Não, o inferno chegou já. Nós temos que correr até o hospital. Não importa o que ocorra. Exatamente. Exatamente. Opa, tem um cadáver aqui. Tem um pessoal morto, estranho. Mas pessoal, não temos tempo a perder. Eu não me importo mais. Mas eu tenho que upar. Meu Deus, o que eu faço? Pera aí. Eu tenho que upar, eu não posso ir pra uma batalha final sem upar. O que eu vou fazer então, pera aí. Pera aí, eu vou matar a filha da Ashbury. Mais uma passagem aqui? Não. É aqui, né? Tem tem uma pessoa ali. Quem é você? Eu, hein? Tá brotando gente do nada?
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
Investigando, estou por conta própria, eu trabalho pra casa Ascalon. Ah, dane-se, olha que é verdade. Se quer verdade, toma verdade.
I work for the Ascalon Club. Here is my permit to go freely about the city.
The Ascalon Club? You should have said so, sir. I must warn you, these streets are dangerous, and you'd better be careful.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer on the loose.
Assassino?
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with a civilian, sir.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information, I'll tell you this. I'm convinced there is a homicidal maniac on the loose, using the epidemic to disguise his kills.
Meu Deus, então temos uma missão secundária? Encontrar assassino?
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every day.
Why are you investigating at night?
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange, which requires police attention?
Mano, que polícia, velho. Não tem polícia. Não tem nada de estranho. Você conhece Fergal Bancha? Eu não sei nem quem é Fergal Bancha, mas é... Pera aí, Fergal Bancha? Eu sei que é um Fergal, mas Bancha? Enfim, gostaria de denunciar Geoffrey McCullough.
I'd like to report a name, Inspector. Geoffrey McCullum. I'm afraid he's some sort of vigilante, trying to recruit an army of angry citizens.
Then I'll write the name down and transmit this intelligence to the appropriate office. Thank you, sir.
O que você realmente
What are
faz?
you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work to rule on their patrols.
Tá.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist cult.
E esse barulho?
What are you investigating, exactly?
Mr. Kimura has been murdered. Always
Oh.
the same injuries. Wounds to the neck and massive blood loss. I'll stick to my homicidal maniac theory.
Ah, tá, tudo bem, isso é vampiro, já entendi.
Goodbye, Detective Inspector Albright.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Ah, pelo amor de Deus, eu achava que era algo mais interessante. É um vampiro, poxa. Caramba, agora tem mais personagens aqui brotando. Você tá com fadiga. Mas é. Vamos tentar falar com o cara aqui de baixo. Tem mais um ali. Meu Deus, tem duas pessoas. São gêmeos? É a mesma... Ah, não, você... Ah, mas ué?
Do you remember if we've seen someone recently? Sometimes it's difficult to remember why we're here in the first place.
Ou isso vai ser interessante.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
Vai ser uma daquelas situações que um vai dizer uma coisa, outro vai dizer a outra, eu vou ter que decidir quem tá falando a verdade.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
Preguiça e medo. Como podemos relacionar as duas coisas?
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
Caramba, sim, estou, não estou, que pergunta... Essa conversa é muito doida. Mas que pergunta...
What kind of question is that? What am I supposed to answer, exactly?
The truth. And I believe you just did it, actually.
Ah, tá bom.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my
Pericles.
insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Meu Deus, eu nem falei com seu irmão ainda, mas eu já tô deduzindo que vocês são ótimos personagens. Um dos melhores desse jogo até agora. Mas o que vocês estão esperando?
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
Cara, talvez seja a morte essa coisa, porque ele falou da morte que tipo de
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? that you are not in your place. That sort of trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
Falou como padre, sei lá. Mas agora de falar com seu irmão Pericles.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Ok, Pericles, agora é você. Não, pera. Eles andam engraçado. Não, pera, calma. Agora sim.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
Mano, isso tá muito estranho. O hospital vai ser atacado a qualquer momento e nós estamos falando com esses doidos aqui. Eu tô amando isso.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Infelicidade.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
Não muito.
No, I don't. I don't recognize it anymore. Or perhaps I just don't like it anymore, now that I've seen its true face.
I don't recognize it either. Or at least what it's become. Hate, violence, social disparity. And I am not talking about the criminality these days.
Tá.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
Meio mórbido, né? Mas é isso, se você quer fugir do passado. Se você quer ter um futuro, pra que se importar com o passado? Sei lá, mas enfim.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
Agamenon e Pericles Baker têm explicações opostas sobre a situação atual dos dois. Agamenon e Pericles Baker estão esperando algo ou alguém para deixar a cidade. Mano, é a mesma pista para ambos.
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
Percebeu o ponto que ele quer chegar, né? Abriu até um sorrisinho no rosto dele.
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He has always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Ok. Quem você está esperando?
Who are you waiting for? I'm sure he has a name.
I really can't answer that question, since I don't know that person.
And why is that?
This person is mostly my brother's acquaintance. I don't even know his real name. Only that this man could help us leave this city once and for all.
But why would you need this person's help to leave London anyway?
Well, I thought we should have left this cursed place already, but my brother convinced me to stay a while longer, and here we are.
Eu acho que o irmão mais novo tá plantando uma armadilha pra matar o Pericles e vai afirmar que o amigo é a morte. E depois ele vai se matar, sacou? Alguma coisa assim.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Eu não sei, mas tem alguma coisa. Cadê o seu... Ah, sim, você tá aqui. Não, tem
Good
alguma
evening,
coisa
Mr.
acontecendo.
Why do I always...
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Não, é esse aqui. Eu tenho que falar com... Ah.
Hello again, Dr. Reed.
Não tem pista.
Goodbye for now.
Meu Deus. Mano, vocês são muito interessantes. Eu quero muito saber o que tá acontecendo. Quem vocês estão esperando? Mas vai ter mais alguém pra conhecer aqui, ou o quê? Eu não sei nem onde eu tô, pra falar a verdade. Tem uma pessoa ainda que eu tenho que conhecer, mas eu não sei onde a pessoa tá exatamente. Mas que lugar estranho. Uou. Opa. Opa. Mano, que lugar medonho. Ah, olá. Olá. O crime do conhecimento perdido. Vampiros são perigosos, mortíferos, ocasionalmente violentos. Tudo isto é um fato inegável. Porém, precisamos analisar estes fatos para entender exatamente o que eles são ou quem são. Só assim conseguiremos atingir uma compreensão mútua. Lembra-se da entrevista feita por um de nós com Titus Flavius Josephus em meados de 1548, quando finalmente encontramos a criatura na Espanha? Você se lembra de como as cuidadosas palavras preferidas por este vampiro acalentaram nosso coração a cada vez que as líamos? Era como se tivéssemos uma janela mística para conhecer um misterioso passado. Pois bem, Titus Flavius Josephus não existe mais, pois há poucas semanas os caçadores do Vaticano o destruíram, e com ele desapareceram para sempre o conhecimento inestimável a respeito dos pilares de nossa civilização. Este crime é quase tão cruel quanto o assassinato de um inocente nas mãos de um vampiro. É por isso que afirmo que a Guarda de Preen é uma organização criminosa e destrutiva, pois a cada uma de suas metódicas caçadas para assassinar os vampiros anciões da Inglaterra, ao invés de contatá-los com respeito e cuidado, eles acabam destruindo uma parte das raízes e história que temos em comum com os imortais. Eles desperdiçam uma oportunidade. As grandes caçadas são um crime, pois apagam para sempre os pensamentos e palavras do passado. De Bebendo na Fonte do Conhecimento por Usher Tautry, primaz de São Paulo. Você é o Usher Tautry?
Jonathan Reed. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
Meu Deus, eu tava muito interessado em conhecer esse cara. Usher parece saber que muitos londrinos foram assassinados recentemente. Peraí, eu conheci todo mundo? Eu conheci todo mundo! Tá todo mundo doente, cruz credo. Ah, essa vida em Londres.
What can you tell me about the neighborhood?
I really don't know. I don't often go outside. And when I do, it's usually to quite distant destinations.
So you see nothing in the stars for me? You're a poor fortune teller, then?
Oh, I can tell you many things. But they will only concern you, not the city. For example, I know that you offered your sister the final rest she asked for.
Meu Deus. Oh, rapaz, cuidado, hein? Cuidado com o que você tá falando.
Do the cards speak of my Mary?
No. It's the burning aura of guilt that precedes you everywhere you go.
Read my fortune, then.
You have been chosen, Jonathan. I see on you the mark of a strong being, so powerful it needn't even reveal its strength.
Can you read the cards for me?
Are you sure you want to know what they will reveal?
Yes, I am.
It will cost you 150 shillings.
Tá bom.
Here is the money.
The snake, a bitter woman, smiling as she pours poison in your cup. A shaming betrayal. Hate.
Vênus? Vênus está envenenando o próprio marido. Ah, não. Vou ter que te matar também. Não, 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 não. Não, eu vou ter que te matar.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stole.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do
Não
not
abra.
read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
Não ligo. Eu vou fazer essa missão no próximo vídeo. Eu vou ler. Eu vou ler. Isso.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Aham. Já. Oh! Ah, eu posso
Can you
continuar?
read the cards?
Put the money on the table there.
Perhaps.
Oh, ele pode me dar pistas. Por 150 shillings. Eu vou fazer isso. Mas peraí, vamos lá. Sobre a irmã
May
dela.
I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Oh, isso diz muita coisa.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars.
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
Fala, eu quero spoiler. Eu quero spoilers.
All right. Let me hear it.
The walls of your prison have already been raised, Jonathan. But you will freely accept to be locked inside, full of hope for a better day.
Tá bom.
I would rather not know.
Mas eu já... ele já falou.
How do you measure?
I told you.
Is it possible?
Vampires.
De novo?
All right.
The walls of your prison.
É, tá, agora o próximo.
How did you learn about Mary? And spare me the hocus-pocus parlor tricks. The truth, now!
Swansea told me. Don't look at me like that. His task is to observe and gather information about vampires. He had to tell me about Mary.
É, até a Ashbury sabia disso. Ela não merecia esse destino, se ao menos eu tivesse a convencido. Ela não era mais a irmã que conhecia. Ela não merecia.
Mary did not deserve her fate. She had already suffered enough during her life. And yet the pain and the suffering went on after her death.
Suffering is part of the immortal condition. Some prefer to lose their minds rather than face the simple truth. Pain will never stop.
Rapaz, você tá com fadiga. Eu tenho que te curar imediatamente. Acabou, né?
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander, yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. Perhaps London will survive the
Ok, vamos...
Do you require...
If you don't,
Vamos curar.
You'll feel better.
thank you very much.
Tá.
Goodbye, sir.
I rarely wander. Cards never...
Tem... Nossa, velho, ele é um... Nossa, só tá tendo pessoas interessantes aqui. Pessoal, o vídeo tá ficando meio grande. Eu não vou conseguir ir pro hospital nesse vídeo, mas... Pera. Tem um puzzle aqui. Tem um puzzle. Eu acabei de perceber isso. Pera, talvez alguma coisa no teto. Velho, tem um puzzle aqui. Tá vendo essas tábuas, esses quadrados aqui? E agora? Aham. Eu quero muito entender como... Deve estar na caixa de Pandora. Como resolver isso. Mas pessoal, eu não sei nem onde eu tô. Eu tô aqui, entendi. É a última área. Faz sentido, então eu vou até o comerciante pra eu ganhar mais 150 shillings. Assim eu vou poder pegar mais uma previsão do cara. Eu tô com quantos shillings? Nossa, eu tô com 105. Oi! Olá! Olá! Vamos ver o que tem.
We should be far from town already. All right. But where would we go? Anywhere. Anywhere that isn't here. And what is that, by the way? A safer place? A less strange place? And where would that be? Life is strange. And we are alive. For now, yes. But for how long? If we decided to flee, we should be far from town already. All right. But where would we go?
Mano, eu não consegui tirar nenhuma conclusão. Qual é a pista? Agamenon e Péricles queriam deixar a cidade porque sentiam que algo de errado estava acontecendo. Isso não ajuda muito. E eu acho que tá na hora de eu conversar com eles. Tem sangue aqui no chão, hein? Mas vamos falar com eles aqui. Vamos falar com você.
Hello again, Doc.
Tá, pergunta pessoal. O que te assusta de verdade?
What are you really afraid of, Agamemnon?
The problem is, it's precisely what I don't know that frightens me. So I suppose I can't really answer your question.
É o medo do desconhecido, incrível.
Tell me, how long have you been waiting here?
I can't say for sure, since I have no watch. But the night is still young, and I am not tired.
Is that the most honest answer you can give me?
Yes, I think so. Why does it irritate you, sir? Is comprehension really that important to you?
Uau.
I'm a scientist. I try my best to understand things. I know the world has to obey unbreakable rules.
You know, or you want the world to obey such rules?
Provocador.
I know one thing. I do not understand who you are.
And it's better that way. What kind of life would we live if we could summarize a person in a few words or a few lines?
Ai, para, você tá me provocando com muita filosofia.
If you finally manage to leave London, where do you intend to go?
A happy place, that's for sure. A place where I can smile because I know the next day will be better than the previous one.
Such a place doesn't exist. There are never any guarantees that tomorrow will be a better day.
That would mean I have no hope left. And I just can't accept such a conclusion.
Ah, que legal.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Agora vamos falar com o último. Cadê o outro? Meu, cadê seu irmão? Seu irmão tá logo ali. Vamos acabar o vídeo tirando as conclusões com ele.
Good evening, Mr.
Why do I always have feelings of déjà vu when I talk to you?
Tell me more about your strange feelings towards the city.
I would be happy to describe them, but it's too hard to explain with mere words what I'm feeling. It's unclear, too confused.
Go on, please.
Where should I start? The world is chaos. Men go mad and nature itself runs roughshod over us all.
This is not the first time mankind has faced a deadly epidemic or a war.
Men kill each other while nature decides to kill them all. I don't know what scares me the most. Do you?
A loucura dos homens. Os dois.
Both can be disastrous, and a combination of the two merely increases their potency.
And what if they were just a sign of worse disasters to come? Something of biblical proportions, I wonder.
Ai, caraca, velho, é muito bom, muito bom.
How long have you been waiting for this man?
Sometimes I feel as though I've been waiting for him for ages. Perhaps it is my role in life to wait for him. Not a pleasant thought.
It could be dangerous for you, waiting here all night.
That's quite true. But what other choice do we have? We are waiting here until we finally go.
Velho, é Deus, sacou? Tá esperando Deus.
Mr. Baker, I have met many strange people during my life, but you are definitely one of the strangest.
Really? I don't feel particularly odd or weird. All I want to do is leave. What's wrong with that?
Why are you still waiting for this person?
What would be the point of going before meeting the man, as he's going to help us leave?
É Deus.
Pericles, what are you going to do now?
I don't know. Perhaps it's time to leave. Perhaps we should stay a little longer. How can I tell?
And where exactly are you thinking of going?
In a place where I will finally have that feeling, to be where I belong. The world has to be meaningless chaos to make such a heaven plausible.
Ai, esse jogo é lindo, lindo demais.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Não tem mais nada,
Hello
né?
again.
Ai, acabou.
Goodbye.
Acabou. Meu Deus, cara, isso é lindo. Isso é lindo. Ok, pessoal, eu vou parar o vídeo por aqui. No próximo a gente vai ter que fazer muita coisa. Então eu vou abrir esse atalho aqui. Eu não vou dormir, senão vai passar um dia. Isso pode ser muito perigoso. Tá salvo, né? Eu consegui aqui um esconderijo. E eu vou basicamente parar aqui porque o jogo salvou. Então, para o vídeo por aqui. Até a próxima. Valeu.